Let's go out on the Western Pizza guest hotline. I think he's a little hardier than I am. Voice of the Saskatchewan Roughriders, Dave Thomas. It was a closed practice today as the Riders and Ticats get ready to battle. Is Dave hardier than Barney and I? Would he be able to go hunting with Sharky in the fall for moose? Because I am completely out of this conversation now.
Dave?
I don't know.
No bathroom.
See, the problem is that I'll never forget in school they were talking about this.
Yeah.
And so Dave Thomas sitting at the back of the class, well, I can go because I know what a moose sounds like. I know what the moose call is.
Yeah.
And
just a big bellow. Yeah.
No. That's not what I did. Back in the class, I go, "Hey, Rocky." So obviously I'm of zero use to you at all. At all.
You know, you can help drag it out of the bush. That might be your specialty, right?
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
That could be your part. Yeah. You're welcome to join if you feel a need. Yeah.
The perfect scenario would be Dave, you, me, and Barney go. Sharky would be so frustrated within the first 3 hours. We'd be driving back to the city, and Sharky would probably drive his truck into the ditch and throw all the weapons away and be like, "You've wrecked it for me for life. You guys have taken something I enjoy and have killed it completely."
We have ways to deal with the annoying team members on the hunting crew. We've got spots for you. So you be nice and safe and sound. You can spend the rest of the day trying to find your way out of the bush. Yeah. We'll leave you there. We'll come and get you later. Yeah.
It's 2025, Sharky. At our house, we don't even kill mosquitoes because it makes the kids upset, according to my wife. So you going hunting? Hey, listen. I'm just telling you how it is with the kids these days, all right? Dave's married. He's got kids.
What's today? What's the date today? 14th?
August 14th.
We're like 17 days till the opening of geese and ducks. Like, that's the way my head works this time of year. I got 17 days till I can start shooting geese and ducks.
Where are me and Curtis on this hunting trip?
Oh, you guys don't even know. You don't even get into the parking lot, let alone get into the truck.
No, they're the cameramen. They're the cameramen. It's like they're the secret cameramen following along, right? Taking pictures.
The ones who end up getting sniffed by the moose and the bear. And we're like, oh, wait a minute. I didn't mean to be here. Sorry.
Hey, Dave,
I don't have to run faster than the bear. I just got to run faster than you. So, yeah.
Nice. We're going hunting Ticats Saturday at Mosaic Stadium. It was day 3 of practice today. And as always, Dave, day 3 is closed. You guys don't get access until after everything is over. What were you able to come up with once the doors broke and the press was let in on all of the secrecy?
Well, obviously what you try to do is decipher who may be in or out, or if there's going to be any lineup changes. And I'm happy to report that I didn't see anything out of the ordinary. Mike Rose was a bit of a concern as he didn't practice yesterday, but he was back on the field today for sure. Definitely had a sweat worked up as he was leaving the field, so that would indicate to me that he should be good to go. You look at the Riders' injury report, and really no surprises there. Sean Bain Jr. is going to be ruled out again. He's still recovering and rehabbing that knee injury. So that's, I guess, the biggest story of the day is the fact that no news is good news if you're the Saskatchewan Roughriders, because that continuity in your roster is going to continue.
They're a little beat up at receiver. I would say that position's maybe right, but Sean Baines Jr. can't get in, which is crazy, right? Is that more of a ratio deal than anything else?
I think it's still a rehabbing process deal still. He is still working on the recovery. Like, he's been more aggressive with it, if you know what I mean. Like, you can see his aggression and the way that his intensity is rising in the drills. Like, he's still working with the scout team a little bit, but he hasn't worked with the number ones. But it's a great question when you look at the roster and the ratio right now. Like, what do you do? Because Robustelli has gone off. You've had Dante Myers. You've got Keyshawn Johnson as your 3 American receivers. Then you've got Del Duncan Busby and now Tommy Neal as your 2 Canadians in that 5 receiver set. So it's pretty solid. Yeah, you'd love to have Samuel Emelis. Yeah, you'd love to have Kean Schaefer-Baker back as far as the national spots go. But for now, so far, so good. And Mitch Picton has been taking some rotations in. Deshaun Mims has been getting a little bit more activity. So definitely working on developing the Canadian receiver spot.
Nice. What about running back? Any other changes? With Bertrand Houdon still out? Still going to be missing him?
First time we've seen him this week.
Okay.
As far as since he went on the 6-game injured list back in, week 3 or week 4, and again, he had such a solid start to the season, got tweaked up with what was, I thought, a groin injury at the time, came back, re-aggravated it, and now has gone on the 6th game, but he was doing full sprints on the far sideline away from everyone earlier this week, so I think it's a matter of time before he gets back and gets the ability to practice. Obviously, they're not going to rush him back from an injury like that, but I know they'd sure love to have him. For sure.
Yeah, no doubt.
So, Dave, yesterday after the show, I was chatting with one of my buddies. And after you dropped the stat yesterday that the Saskatchewan Roughriders have gone deep more than the Hamilton Ticats and Bo Levi Mitchell, he's like, no way, there's not a chance. I'm like, no, Dave's good with his stuff. Like, it was legit, but he couldn't believe either, like I couldn't when you first said that the Riders have gone deep more than this season than Bo Levi, Scott Milanovic, and the Hamilton Ticat offense. To me, and maybe to everybody else, they're scratching their head going, really?
Well, I remember a conversation that we had on this very program where it was alluded to the fact that Trevor Harris and the deep ball might be a bit of a concern. Well, I don't think there's much of a concern because that guy is threading the needle and he's doing it at a more proficient pace than anyone ever has done it before in the Canadian Football League. And basically, if he's got the time to make the read, which he seems to get this year, he's going to go ahead and complete that pass.
He's over 70% in every game. Like, that's amazing.
Well, back in the day, you were talking 56, 57, 58% being phenomenal, but 70% is elite. And then to do it over the course of 10 games, that's big.
That's pretty special.
And then in his post-practice scrum the other day, I like what he said. I love Trevor's humility when he's like, listen, nobody at 7-1 is going to make the playoffs. There's still a lot of work to do. There's boxes we've ticked, but there's more that we have to tick. And I think also in that same scrum, he said they want to be the most efficient team in the red zone, which is something that they're getting better at this season. But last year we saw this, how many drives, and then it was Brett Lothar time for a field goal try. This year we seem to be converting, but do you know offhand who's number 1 in the red zone?
The team that we're going to play. The Saskatchewan Roughriders are number 7 in the league in red zone touchdown efficiency at 58%. The Hamilton Tiger Cats get to the red zone, and they are number 1 in the league, converting 75% of the time. So they get to the 20 and in, they're 3 out of 4 times in the end zone.
That's an impressive stat when you think about it. And I said this a couple of weeks ago. I said, the Riders need to be bullies. They got to quit playing nice and run up some scores and knock some people in the mouth, and that's part of it, getting in the red zone and not settling for that field goal.
Were you sitting in the defensive line meetings? Because they have a term. Hey, you never know. You never know.
Yeah, I'm in there. Yeah, maybe getting the towels.
Well, hey, you do you. But what I'm telling you is the terminology that the defensive line are using now is bully ball. They want to play bully ball. They want to out-physical the group that's in front of them, and they know that they need to do that in order to be successful. And they will tell you to a man that they did not do that in their loss against Calgary this year, and that was the reason why. So bully ball is a thing with the Saskatchewan Roughriders.
Nice. I like it.
When we chatted with Rick Zamperin yesterday, we were talking about some of the guys and like Revenberg, one of the stars on the O-line for the Ticats. Speaking of bully ball, now there's an offensive lineman that loves to be aggressive and loves to be downfield. I'm not sure that the Riders have played an aggressive offensive line like Hamilton likes to play, and you don't often talk about aggressive offensive lines, but Hamilton has one, and they may come at the Riders. That's what he was thinking.
You know, the one thing that I would submit when it comes to an offensive line is you want them to be aggressive, but you don't want them to cross the line. And I would suggest from the games that we've seen thus far this season against BC, a very, very aggressive line, but they would cross the line. And so that really hurt the team. Whereas the Hamilton Tiger Cats, I agree with what Rick said. And I don't know that, again, I think that Calgary's also kind of come into this mantra as well as being aggressive and physical and stopping at the right time, right? Not crossing that line when it hurts the team. And that, to me, is what hurt the BC Lions a little bit. But I agree with Rick. That's what Hamilton does. They will play to that whistle, and they're going to be good and aggressive coming right after you.
It makes sense. You know, you think about it, that whole line play, it makes sense to be aggressive. If you don't dominate the other guy physically, you're going to get dominated. And if you're dominated, you're going to lose. So it makes sense that they got to be that. I would suggest that the Riders' offensive line is not that far behind that. I would say that's a very big, strong, physical group that can knock anybody they want on their backside.
I'll throw it out there. Let's face it, the offensive line for the Saskatchewan Roughriders is not what anyone had penciled into the start of the year going into training camp. But they are as healthy as they have been in an awful long time. And I would even go back to last year. Yes, they're missing some key bodies, but they're now starting to gel and form. That left side of the offensive line has been in flux quite a bit this season.
It has, yeah.
And again, sometimes to no fault of your own, how often do you lose your starting left guard because he was in a car accident, right? And again, that hearing the details from Zach Fry on that is a scary situation that him and his teammates were involved in. But having said that, the Riders are starting to gel on the offensive line. The right side with Jacob Bramer and Logan Furland, and of course on the other end you got Jamarcus Hardrick is solid, solid as can be. And now that left side I can see starting to gain that continuity and that confidence, right? Because nobody had penciled in Peyton Collins to play it down this year. But the kid came back from a knee injury. You could see how tough he was because they were calling for the cart to take him off, and he waved him away and walked off under his own, said, "No, I'm good." And he's outright won that left tackle job from a couple of other guys, I would submit. So I think the offensive line is as strong as it's ever been this season.
And that kid's a massive human being.
Oh, yeah.
He is huge. Like when you look at him, you go, how am I going to get around this? It's like trying to get around a house.
Yeah.
It is. He's a huge human being.
Well, and he's developed a new nickname now because, of course, he's got the red hair, right?
Yep.
So Big Red was what he was called early on in the season. Now it's gone to Clifford. So I'm like, that's pretty good, guys.
Nice.
Pretty good.
I knew we were in good shape on offense when line play. Take us back to the BC game. Who was it that planted Matthew Betts on that one play? Absolutely pancaked him. Was that a combination of somebody and Ouellette? But I remember the play, I caught the corner of my eye, wasn't paying attention. I'm like, did Matthew Betts just get planted into the turf? Because he got owned on that play.
Darius Washington. It was his first start at left tackle as he had moved into that role. And the first play, they called for him to pull and go around, and Himmel and they laid a lick. It was something to behold of, and he was smiling. You ask him about it, he smiles about it, right? He's like, "Yeah, it was a good start to the game. I'm happy they called that." And I'm like, "Yeah, they called that on day 2, I'm sure." Like, come on.
Yeah, they knew what they wanted out of you, kid, and you brought it to the park. Nice, like that.
And I was hoping that TSN would show that replay a couple of times to be like, hey, because that was impressive. I'm like, wow. Now that is whether if TSN didn't show it, but I'm like, I know when the Riders get back home, when the tape gets cut up in front of the team on the giant screen in that awesome auditorium that they have where they watch film, that thing's going to be shown again and again and again. And that, to me, I'm like, if this is what this year's Rider team is all about, I'm like, all right, that makes it into the Rider top 10 for 2025. Anything else you found out at practice today?
Just to interrupt on that, I'd seen that play 5 different times before we left the stadium, but it was on phone. So
okay.
Yeah. But what we also learned is that tickets are going quick. It sounds like it is going to be a full Mosaic Stadium, which I'm really excited for. This team deserves the support, and I think it's going to be a lot of fun in what we see against the Hamilton Tiger Cats. So roster looks like it's set and going to be very similar to what's suited up in Montreal. It looks like the team is healthy. And I get the idea that they really have got this chip on their shoulder from the way that they came out from their last bye week when they lost to Calgary, and have full intention of not allowing that to happen again.
I like that. I thought actually the way they played Montreal, when you think about it, they scored 2 field goals from outside the 45. Mm-hmm. Like they didn't even let them on their side of they didn't even let them in their yard. They didn't let them in their side of the street. They made them stay where they were. If they do that to Hamilton, and I've marked this game as one of those games that's going to benchmark you as to how you are in the league. If they can do that to Hamilton, it's going to be very impressive.
I know this is a hockey scenario, but do you ever have the time where, okay, if they're going to take a penalty against us, we're going to make them pay?
Yeah.
So very early in that football game, I don't know if you remember or not, in Montreal, but Montreal was penalized a 15-yarder for roughing the passer. Very early, the intent was, we're going to get in there, we're going to go ahead and we're going to put Trevor Harris down on his backside. And the Riders responded, marched the ball down, scored a touchdown in the opening drive by that penalty, aided by that penalty, at which point well, we better make sure that we don't do this again because this is going to be in our end zone a lot of times. So to me, that response is what really shows me that this team, in a lot of different ways, is very, very, very good.
I love it. I can't wait for Saturday.
Tomorrow at 4:00, Saskatchewan Roughrider President Craig Reynolds is scheduled to be on the program with us. Dave, do you have any more insight why he's coming on? I have an idea, but do we know why Craig is coming on the show? He's always welcome. He knows that. But tomorrow at 4:00, he's coming on the SportsCage.
Well, he saw that you and Sharky were on today, and so he knew that he had to bring in some follicles with him. So that's what's going on, man.
Oh, so it's a hair day.
It's a hair day
on Friday. Okay, all right, I got it.
Oh, I thought you were saying he knew Sharky and I were on today, so he was trying to avoid that and come in and just be like, well, I guess if it's got to be Maz because Barney's not here. Colson, do you want to put up? This slipped yesterday. It wasn't authorized to go, but Colson, if you're able to, I'm not saying that he's coming in to talk about this genius idea that was brought up months ago, but this may be one of the first of many spitball meetings that we have for something that could become a tradition here. You got to
tell people on the radio what it is. It's the Pilsner Cup that you've invented.
Yes. Okay, so why are we picking Hamilton? Who are we playing the Pilsner Cup against?
No. Well, because the Stampeders came up with the Stampede Bowl, right? Their fake trophy game, like, cliche, like wrestling, it's a gimmick.
Like Winnipeg's
so they did the Stampede Bowl.
Yeah.
Yep. Very gimmicky. I'm like, well, if you're the Riders, and I put this out there last time Craig was on, why don't we have the Pilsner Cup? I mean, it's a natural tie-in. It's happening already to be like, all right, the trophy is a giant Pilsner. Now that's just a mock-up from AI. Thank you, Curtis, and your beautiful skills when it comes to design. But that's version 1 of probably many. We're going to start spitballing ideas. We're probably going to have lunches and dinners. We'll maybe form a committee, but the Pilsner Cup may be taking shape here in Rider Nation.
That's a complete guess on your part, right? Like you're just stringing us along?
Oh, yeah.
Well, listen.
I can confirm, though, that it is going to be taking shape in my patio in about 30 minutes from now, just so you're aware.
Gotta go, Maz. See ya. I'm with Dave.
Okay. Pictures or it didn't happen. You send it in as we're now. So I think Dave Thomas has volunteered for the planning committee for the Pilsner Cup as far as chief product sampler. As far as it's funny, how many people in this province could also apply for that job as chief product sampler to be on the committee for the Pilsner Cup? To be like, listen, I've drank 10 to 12, 15,000 of these. I think I'm more than qualified to know what the trophy's going to look like.
I'm leaving it there, boys. I'm leaving it there. I know where I'm going to be.
Yeah.
If you need quality control, I'm in. I'm just telling you.
I'm with him. Yeah, I can. That song by Toby Keith, 1,632 beers ago, that's not that many. That's not as many as you think.
So
I thought you were going to go down whiskey for my men and beer for my horses with Toby Keith. I'm happy you stopped there.
If we're going to do a little throwback Thursday, talk about Toby Keith, all sorts of other stuff, I found something last night that made me smile. We'll play it a little later in the show of a simpler time when there was good guys and there was bad guys and there was things that just made you feel good. All right, thanks, Dave. Your partner in crime, Luke Mullender, will join the show tomorrow. Luke being part of the Rider broadcast team, he'll be on around 3:25 tomorrow afternoon. I got confirmation last night from Luke. He's going to come on, chat it up, get his thoughts, his keys to the game.
You seem concerned that he's not going to show.
No, he'll be live from Pill Country. He'll get an early start on it.
He's doing some testing.
Well, listen, whatever it takes to bring the content to the fans, right? That's what we're in the content business.